Peace, family. This is High Priestess Sister Arcola Souljet, High Priestess of the new Souljet Healing Community, and also of the Daughters of Tituba. You can find me on YouTube on Calligraphy TV. Please subscribe. And you can also join us on Denim Design, the new Souljet Healing Community Hub on Facebook. So tonight, we had a full moon in Scorpio, and we are still experiencing this moon. Even though it's pretty much midnight, almost midnight, as I'm starting this video. This isn't going to be long. I just wanted to talk a little bit about this full moon in Scorpio and some of the energy surrounding this very powerful moon. The title of this build is going to be called The Becoming, or is called The Becoming. Like, what are we becoming, or what we are becoming? Truth, shadow, and alchemy under the Scorpio moon. Now, the full moon is in Scorpio is not gentle. It's not about light and clarity. It's about shadow work, truth-telling, and rebirth. It's here to reveal what's been buried so that we can rise again to our full potential from that dark place. Learning to integrate our darkness with our light so that we can be holistic. So I had a few talking points that I wanted to go over. Number one, the shadow is truth. So in this space, you are going to deal with the truth that lies within the shadow. Because one thing is, Scorpios are a very deep sign. Some people may look at a Scorpio as dishonest, especially if you've ever been, with a Scorpio man or a woman that you may feel have tricked you or manipulated you in some type of way. Those energies are in the dark side of a Scorpio. However, Scorpios don't necessarily lie, as in they just don't always offer you their entire truth. They are private. And so this moon is going to go into some of the energy that we deal with as far as dealing with the truth that lies in the shadow. Because Scorpio doesn't lie to us. If you have a good Scorpio friend, they're going to tell you the truth, even if it's a truth that you can't take. But it doesn't always offer the truth or information about itself. It doesn't necessarily lie, but it doesn't always give you what it wants you to know. Scorpio doesn't lie to us, it exposes us. The moon will bring up things that makes us uncomfortable, not to harm, but to free. So this is when you have to digest that uncomfortable truth. It could expose you, hopefully not openly, but many times it can. And in other times, it's just you having to face your shadow, period. So what shadow work really means, it's dealing with the shadow. It's, dealing with your emotional truths. There's, things that could be surfacing up. Because those things will come to the surface during periods like this. Jealousy, jealousies, people jealous of you, you jealous of others, grief, old betrayals, things that we need to really look at, people that we may need to apologize to, people that never gave us closure or apologized to us, and finding ways to integrate some of the shadow with our light, or all of your shadow with all of your light, and become holistic. This is a time to invite people. Pluto invites you to stop judging your darker emotions and start instead interrogating them, finding out what the source is and why you feel certain ways, or based on experiences or information, or just things that we go through, our circumstances. And that's how you begin to do the shadow work, is actually looking at it, not running from it, not hiding from it. So what are you still hiding that you wish someone would just see? Some things we wish we could show others, but we don't want to even tell them. It's almost like how men say that women expect them to read our minds or just know what we want. And many times we do, but that's kind of shadowy because people don't know what you're feeling or what type of things you've been through unless you share it with them, right? So you have to ask yourself during this period, it can be, remember what I said, it's not always negativity in the shadow. Sometimes it's the gifts and talents that you don't feel comfortable with, so you press down. So even that could become the what are you still hiding that you wish someone would just see. And although it's hard to just speak our truth, sometimes we wish people could just read our truth and I mean, energetically, but in order to really get it off and to be able to express and put certain things to rest, it's a time where we may need to share our shadow. Not all the time, but sometimes you want to bring that into the light too, because you can get the healing you need often through other people. You don't have to do it all on your own. As a matter of fact, not only am I a high priestess, I'm also a spiritual counselor. And I like to say alternative spiritual counseling because I deal with, it's not limited to any religion, but just people that may need to speak outside of the box. And there, maybe you may not even get acceptance from your community or, respective religion or religious community or whatever community. You don't have to be connected to a religion at all. I just wanted to put that out there. And if anybody is interested in a spiritual consultation or counseling session, you can tap in with me in my inbox and I can get you scheduled for an appointment. And, I also do tarot readings and some other energy work and things. So if you're interested, serious inquiries only, you can tap in. So let's go into the next module, number 2, pain is a portal. Pain is not our enemy. It's the threshold. And one of the things that Scorpio energy teaches us is that we're reborn through the womb. Scorpios themselves face a lot of heavy energy, and they're, most of them are very brave type of people that will stand in their mistakes and go all the way to the moon and back to see where their form of liberation takes them by being true to themselves. And it may not always work out, but they'll do it anyway because it's them living their truth. Okay? So they also know from being wounded. A lot of Scorpios are wounded children, and they learn early on that they have to look out for themselves. Another reason why they may appear selfish or some people say evil. And to that point, you don't want to cross a Scorpio, but a healed, evolved Scorpio generally don't seek revenge. However, that's just one aspect of Scorpio and one perception, because they deal with perception and duality as well. On the other hand, Scorpios are immensely caring. They will go all out for people that they love. They even give people they love passes, namely family and very close friends. So, but we gotta, keep in mind, though, these things that I'm talking about is not all referring to Scorpio, just showing you some of the themes that can come up for each and every one of us, especially with heavy Pluto placements in your chart. Anywhere that Scorpio Pluto sits, you can have a challenge in that area. But this is just telling you some of the things that could come up, with hidden pain, things like that, and what we're learning and being taught through the Pluto Scorpio energy. So this also goes into sex, death, transformation, and secrets. So certain things that come up, it could have been today, it could be tomorrow, but in this time of those themes, death, sex, transformation, and secrets that could either come out, be exposed, or dealt with in some kind of way. You may have to deal with, some people may be experiencing people that's dying. The death energy here really strong. For some others, you may be dealing with where you are in your comfort level with sex and sexuality. It may be things that that you press down, that you desire, but it comes up again, and it may need to be dealt with, talked about, or experienced with your partner or a partner. For others, these are heavy, heavy transformations in your spirituality, in your walk. It could be in the way you eat or live. It could have been a catalyst that created this need to transform, or this deep transformation, and it will make you a new creature, a new person. And a lot of it comes from the wounds and the betrayals and the grief and so forth. And then again, we have secrets here. It may be a need to keep your secrets. Certain secrets could be exposed at this time. Yeah, secrets could be exposed, or you can find out a secret, something that you've been wondering about, or something you didn't know at all. Certain things you may have told a friend could be coming back. If you have told someone secret, that can also come back, and that could not be pretty. That could become, a source of pain for some, and also disagreement, revenge. So, this is what we have to deal with now, though. We're dealing with the repercussions and the outcomes of our decisions and things that we decided and chose to keep in the shadow. Okay. Sometimes you have to look at exercise and pain, turn that into a sacred ritual and really do the work surrounding it. That's why I speak to the spiritual baths that I make for my clients. I have one, a new one I'm working on, or actually finished, but it's not on the market for sale yet. But it's a morning gate bath that is designed for grief. If anybody is interested in that, when right now I'm doing custom orders, but when it is available, I can also have a list where I call the people that may be interested in trying out the Morning Gate spiritual baths. For others of you, I'm also picking up that journaling could be very helpful for those that like to write. Those of you who don't like to write, it may be a time to just express what's bottled in. For some of you, this could come out in the form of hip hop or rap, poetry, painting, just pouring your energy into things that make you feel, free to express, free to deal with the shadow. That may be a good way to introduce yourself to your shadow. It's through some type of artistic or spiritual endeavor. So this is also, again, men's mental health awareness month. And this is the Blue Ribbon, all June. And I will be doing a new live for this year. I thank everybody that tapped into the live stream today. That is from last year's show, Men's Mental Health Awareness in 2024. And we're going to be doing another one. I'll be tapping in next week with another one for the men. Yeah, so y'all make sure y'all stay tuned. And if y'all like what y'all saw earlier, like, share, and also like and share this video so we can get the awareness out. The last thing that I wanted to say is some of us are not broken. We're birthing. I'm going to say some of you all aren't broken. You're birthing. It hurts like hell because you're trying to come out of a space that's too small. Your spirit's growing big. And that place that you were in, you're no longer there. Or you are coming out of that place as you are confronted with doing the shadow work. Now, on the third point, which is the spiritual alchemy, it says this moon, the Scorpio moon, wants to know, what are you willing to let die so the real you can live? What are you willing to let die so the real you can live? So now, rather that, this is mostly parts of ourselves that need to die, but it can also be things, relationships, and clutter that we hold on to. Got to bring the idea of releasing emotional clutter into your life and understanding the power of rituals right now. Again, journaling and spiritual bathing, your affirmations, but all of those things working together. The spiritual cleaning or bathing is major. And again, I also do some other baths, the Rose Remedy being another one that's very powerful. And I also, again, customize baths, especially for your personal experience of what you may need. They can also come in a form of oils or dress candles, just to put that out there. But the best thing that this moon is for is cutting cords, finally getting rid of those things that we continue to hold on to because our identity, our ego is still tied into it. Old relationships, jobs, titles, identities, religions, spiritual walks and faith that are no longer working because we're tied into it. And we may have to cut cords even with old family members or family members that are toxic or bad for us as we break these generational curses. This is about setting protective boundaries for yourself. Don't waste this moon. Don't scroll past your own growth. This is a time to push through. And I think I'm going to end it on that. You guys have a blessed night. Have a healing night. And it's not just this night, but let this be a catalyst, the Scorpio moon, to do our shadow work during this period so that we can all be whole, healed, and unified. And remember to give each other grace. And yeah, peace, love, light, fire, shadow, Scorpio moon. And yeah, I love y'all. And for those who know, peace. High Priestess Sister Coda Souljet once again, coming from the new Souljet Healing Community. And I'm closing off with good vibrations and transformational energy for all that hear this, encounter this, and experience it. Those with ears who this is for. Take it, use it, and elevate. And pass the message. Ashe. Good night, family.